Absolutely. Well, thank you for taking the time. I appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Of course. We gotta talk. Longlegs is like bananas blowing up. How crazy is this?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, it's amazing, of course. And yeah, I mean, I'm so happy for Oz Perkins who wrote and directed the film. He's obviously extremely talented and he's done some great films in the past. And it's just good that he's finally getting his kind of
Yeah.
breakout hit, I think, with Longlegs. He's well deserved. Um, but it's weird, like you do these movies and the scripts are cool and like you can see the vision on set, but you never know how people respond to it. So
Mhm.
when people respond and like it blows up and everybody messages you and says they're watching it, and it's like, oh, neat. People actually go to movie theaters still and see films.
I know. I know. I always say, like, I can't believe the people that wait for streaming because I love to see a movie in
Yeah,
theaters. And this movie is absolutely one that deserves to be seen in theaters because I love seeing it with like an audience where we're all like on the edge of
yeah,
our
yeah,
seat, like what is about to happen. I
for
describe
sure.
it as very unsettling. Longlegs is like so unsettling, literally from that first scene with Nicolas
Yeah,
Cage to the very end. But what was it like reading the script? Like, was it as unsettling reading
yeah,
it that way?
yeah. I mean, Oz is like he kind of puts everything into the script. Some writers they're very bare bones in the way they write, and Oz is very much like the vision is on the page, so you kind of get that sense. But it's a horror film, so you can't fully get all the suspense on the
Yeah.
page, and it's like in the moment, and then you hear the music and you hear like the performances, all of that creates this sensation, I think, of unease that you're talking about. And I think that's why this movie is really successful. It's not like a jump scare type horror film. It's a horror film that like kind of slow burns and makes you feel uneasy and uncomfortable. And then when you're surrounded by 100 other people in a theater that also feel that way, suddenly you're in this like catacomb of like, oh my God, I just want this to end in the best
Yeah,
way possible.
absolutely. I know. Like as a parent, that part, the part with like the kids and stuff, was so unsettling for me. Like I came
Yeah.
home and like hugged my children. I was like, I love you.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Yeah.
great. And what I like, because I've seen the film a few times now. I saw it. They did a casting crew screening locally here for all the people that worked on it locally,
Mhm.
and then I saw it one other time, and I saw it in LA, and I've watched it a few times, and kind of every time you get to watch a different part of it, and the part that really stuck out to me this last time at the premiere in LA was just Oz's writing when it comes to all the characters are just so fresh and so interesting, and everybody has something going on. I just thought it was so well done, and I loved watching all these other roles and the coroner, for example, just like
Yeah.
really amazing, interesting characters that really come off the page and makes it so much fun as an artist because you have stuff to play with. So that's what you hope for, at least.
Yeah. So how long were you on set? I know you're not in it that much.
Yeah,
Spoiler. That scene, I was so sad. I was like, "What? He died?
yeah,
That was so
I know. Yeah.
quick." Because I was like digging your dynamic with her, and then I was like, "Well, there we go. Oh well." But like, how
Yeah,
long were you filming for?
not very. It was a quick one. I mean, the whole shoot itself is quick.
Yeah.
It's a relatively speaking, it's a low budget horror film, that just blew up, right? So it's not like your big studio type film, which is I think really amazing. First off, for Neon, which is a fantastic company, and this is becoming like a kind of a breakout hit for them, and kind of puts them on the map for these really interesting and character driven stories. So that's like exciting for them. And then also for like Vancouver as a film community itself,
Mhm.
to produce a film of this quality locally and to have it blow up is really exciting. So I think it was a really fast shoot for everybody, and it kind of insane now that it gets exploded. It's pretty amazing.
It's amazing. I love Neon. I've always loved their stuff. I think they
Yeah,
have like the next one coming up, Cuckoo, was insane as well. So I'm hoping this is a good ride for them and it keeps going. I think it
I think
will.
so. And I think their marketing strategy for this film was really genius. Like, I'm not going to give anything away, but like you don't obviously see Longlegs in any of the promotion, and I think it was just really smart because it adds an element of mystery to the story, which I think is inherent to the story itself, which is great. So they're kind of giving you a feel of what the movie's going to be like in all their ads, and I think it's worked really well. And obviously, I mean, obviously, because the film did like
Yeah.
22 million in the first weekend.
Which is
So
crazy. Did you call
yeah.
that phone number? That was
I have
eerie.
not, no.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
well, okay, the thing about me, I don't like horror films. Like they freak me out. So for me to even watch this movie, and I know I'm in it, so it's a little like I'm not fully in it,
Yeah.
but it just still freaks me out. So I like, I'm not doing any of that stuff. That shit scares me.
No, it's literally like Nick Cage just breathing at you for like three
Ah,
minutes. So, it's so
okay, I got
creepy.
a funny story about like I came to set one day and I hear there's a part in this film without giving anything away where Nicolas Cage, his character Longlegs, is singing Happy Birthday.
Yeah,
And I remember
yes.
coming to set and I'm hearing the recording of this and I'm like, who can I swear? Am I allowed to swear or no?
Yeah, yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I'm like, who the fuck is that? I'm like, who's this voice? And I'm listening, I'm like, who the fuck is singing Happy Birthday like that? And they're like, oh, that's Nicolas Cage. I'm like, oh, of course. Only Nicolas Cage can get away with doing that and it be like spectacular.
Yeah, it's spectacular, terrifying. Like
Yeah, it's great.
it's so creepy. Did you get to meet him at all?
I saw him at the premiere, which is really cool. I mean, I've been such a, I think everybody is a Nicolas Cage
Yeah.
fan across the world. So
Mhm.
it's kind of, it's a really weird, surreal moment. You work in film for a long time and like you hustle your way through and like you go like I wonder if you kind of have those moments where you're like I wonder if I'll ever get these opportunities and then when you find yourself in the opportunity it obviously feels different than what you imagined and then
Mhm.
also just feels super surreal because you're like oh I'm doing the thing that I've always dreamed about doing so it's pretty amazing I'm stoked to be a part of the film.
Yeah, I mean, like you're so good in this. Everyone is so good
Thank
in
you.
this. Yeah, I was like so, I mean, from that very first scene to the very final scene, I was literally on the edge of my seat like this, like why
Oh,
I
I'm
don't,
glad.
watching it like I don't love this, but I love this. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah, 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 of course.
I'm very uncomfortable, but I like that I'm uncomfortable.
The job of the film. It's doing a good job. It's awesome.
Exactly, exactly. And then before we wrap, I do want to talk to you about adjoining as well,
Please, yeah.
because I was able to see it
Oh, you
and
watched it. Cool.
I watched it and it
Nice.
is also so good.
Thank
But
you.
I'd love to talk to you because you co-wrote it and then co-directed it. So can you talk about it a
Yeah.
little bit?
Yeah, totally. So, Adjoining is a film that myself, my creative partner Harrison Hood, and Peter PD Beats from Popternative, we all made together through our companies. So Harrison and myself have been making films for like 8 or 9 years, and PD came to us through a mutual friend of ours who he had produced the film with her, and he had this kind of crazy idea for a horror film that takes place in a motel about a young woman who's essentially a voyeur. She watches the people that stay there. And we just thought it was super interesting and creepy and he had a really cool, unique vision for it. So we all wrote the film together and produced it in Los Angeles, down in Los Angeles. We filmed it with a company called Cinepack Studios. And we actually just got accepted into Screamfest. So we'll have our premiere in Los Angeles at the Chinese theater. So we're pretty stoked about that.
I know that's so exciting. What does it feel
Yeah.
like at the Chinese theater? That's so iconic.
Yeah, I mean, it's iconic. It's like kind of surreal. We found out and like called Peter, and we're like all just freaking out because again, like you put together these films and you believe in the story and you try to make the best film possible, and then you just throw it out there in the world and you don't know how people are going to respond. You believe in your material, of course, but you never know what people how they respond to it. So to have that be our first festival, like that was our first submission and our first response was for us to be accepted into an incredible festival like that. It's an overwhelming experience. Like it's a really happy experience.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's got the legs, hot legs. I didn't even do that on purpose. To, to
Nice.
see me tied
She's
it
good.
together.
She's good. Tessa,
I
damn, she's
know,
good.
you're right. To go like through the festival circuit because I was really into it. I thought it was really good. I was surprised at certain moments. Don't want to give anything
Yeah.
away. But Brenna is so good in this. Can you talk about working with her?
Yeah, Brandon Domingo, she's fantastic. She produced the film as well with us, so she's a producer on the project too. Yeah, she's a phenomenal actress across the board, obviously. But I think this film really gives her an opportunity to do something different. She's a Disney star. People know her for the Descendants franchise, and she's wonderful in those movies. This is a total different side of her. She's kind of unhinged in this movie in a really fantastic way, and uh, also very charming. And she works with Carter Glade as an actor in the film. He plays her boyfriend in the film. They have a really wonderful dynamic, and very charismatic together. So I think they're a fantastic duo. Sid Noel plays she plays the motel manager that works there. She's also phenomenal in the film. So yeah, we got lucky with some really fantastic actors, and yeah, it's just it came together. So we feel very excited for it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. We have not seen her like this, Brenda, like this
No,
before.
I
No.
think it's totally new for her, and a really fantastic side. Like she's very good at it. So
Mhm.
I'm excited for her fans to see her in a new light, and probably to be a little bit shocked because they're so used to her
Yes.
being, that Disney star. So it's
I
cool.
know. I was like, what is happening? Who
Yeah.
is this girl? And she's great. Like, and it's so crazy. She can play both sides very, very well. She's very
Oh,
good.
she's killer at it, and a really smart producer too. She like really helped us on that film, and she's the one that found Carter. Carter's phenomenal in the film, so she brought Carter to us, and so many other elements. So we were very lucky to have her a part of it.
Uh, well, do you have a thought process of like where this could go if it was picked up for a full story? Because I feel like there's a lot to explore in that world.
Yeah, I mean, it's about we found like this idea of a voyeur very interesting. So again, like I said, it takes place in kind of like a motel out in the middle of nowhere, and we have this young girl who's maybe isolated, and she kind of feels connected to the people that stay there. It's her only way. It's her only kind of outside experience. So she watches these people, and she does that through the film's called Adjoining. So she does it through the adjoining room. So I think it would be fun just to like explore first of all how she got there and how she became that person, and then also using maybe a similar dynamic as we have in the film with a couple. Like I don't want to give anything away, but
Yeah.
we have a kind of a cool twist in the film, but to expand kind of that whole experience, and to have it have that prolonged, so it's not just a quick easy
Yeah.
fast death. It's more of a struggle to survival, I think,
Yeah.
as how we see it. So we'll see what happens. I mean, Screamfest is our first one, and hopefully we keep going, and we can find our way into a feature. So it'd be cool.
Absolutely. Well, I think you will. And congratulations on Longlegs and on
Thank
Adjoining.
you.
They're both great. So thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.